It did not then occur to me that there is a feminine truth, complementary, but often contrasting and seemingly at war with the masculine truth. The division was not clear in my consciousness. Truly, I felt that the girls and women around me were often more noisy with their tongues and desires than were the boys and men. They were more emotional, volatile, and silly, but also more gentle, sensitive, and feeling. Vicariously, I lived in their feminine rhythms, vibrating with them in unitive, direct, and unmental harmonies. I was no stranger to their subtly willful passive waiting, similar to a cat lying in wait for a mouse, nor to their seemingly insincere play and poses, the flutter and the wordiness, which often hides their true purpose and meaning. Intuitively and vibrationally, I came to know the feminine language of being, though I myself had no desire to speak it. Often I knew women better than they knew themselves, so they said, yet I could not myself take a pose or play a part which was not my own. I was uncritical, unanalytical, receptive and accepting, and yet somehow, when in danger, aware. With women, I did have an intuitive flair which saved me from the scratches of the claws hidden behind their velvety pussy feet. I was perhaps not always conscious of the danger at the moment it was happening, but then would be afterwards when I developed the negatives in the inner darkroom of my consciousness. Intuition preceded and predominated and could nearly always be trusted. Is not the highest type of manhood really that which includes womanhood? Are not the feminine and the masculine rhythms complementary? When the complementary opposite rhythms are harmonized and functioning at ease within, the individual can be calmly aware of his individuum. As the Bible says, and they shall again become one flesh. He seemed to be only half a man, a prey to fluctuations in golden chains, who had to search and to lean on the better half for his fulfillment or wholeness. And she, but half a woman, finding her support and fulfillment outside herself, attracts or is attracted to a worse half, to bully or to obey. In the ancient garden of pure consciousness, 2 falls occurred. The first was when man was divided and woman formed from his rib. And this caused and conditioned the second, when both became self-critical and saw that they were naked and divided, and so descended into the play of opposites. Good and evil, for what? Aesthetically, the hermaphrodite is a type of perfection, an idea or truth, which has haunted the imagination of men like Michelangelo, Shelley, and Whitman. Physiologically, we all still have the rudiments of the other sex. We have developed from some hermaphroditic organism in the dim past, and it may be that we are being carried along to some hermaphroditic fulfillment in the not so too far off future. Meanwhile, those among us to whom the time scale is not of supreme importance can have glimpses and sensations of these past and future states in the present, the eternal now. Perhaps we cannot stay calm and balanced in unitive modes of experiencing unless that harmonious, hermaphroditic wholeness is achieved within. We meet physically hermaphroditic types among fellow pilgrims. Are they reversions, freaks, or hints of future perfection? Even though now they are often pitied Soon they may be envied. Physique, however, is not so important as that which is much vaster, the psyche. The hermaphroditic psyche seems to be the one thing most necessary for inner peace. How easy it would be to avoid the war of the sexes and the agonies of readjustment if our psyches were whole and did not need to flutter in search of their other halves, their so-called lost integral wholeness. How easy to eliminate fears and jealousies, the efforts to bind and to possess. If only the individual could find within himself or herself that pearl of great prize, the true remembrance of what and who we really are. Within is the kingdom, and only there can we again find our lost harmony, our psychic wholeness. It can never be found outside of ourselves. And any search outside ourselves will only lead to compulsive Shakti business. Love of humanity, nation, society, race, family, mate, or even the beloved can only lead to an extension of a divided and dual ego consciousness. To lose one's ego in anything other than the self can only produce an ego that is both enlarged and inflated. Only within his or her own psyche, beyond ego consciousness, can a person know him or herself to be as simple and as whole as Adam and Eve before the fall. But now, with the added remembrance of a shadow which makes the light at the center of consciousness richer than it ever was before. The growing pains in overcoming the dis-ease of divided consciousness are richly rewarded. The causes for all that happens to us are within ourselves, and we need never blame anybody or anything outside for our miseries. Probably we cannot experience the natural state unless we are momentarily psychically whole, nor can we retain it livingly unless we remain so. This rhythm of inner psychic wholeness is what egos would term androgynous. When the male and the female truths function in a complementary harmony within one psyche, the body as a tool will remain male or female, but the psyche will aware the harmonious wholeness of itself, freely functioning in the unitive mode of experiencing. Only in the light of the whole can true memory emerge freely, simply, and purely. And is not the conscious or unconscious aim and purpose, the meaning and goal of all our strivings, all our Shakti antics, and all our yoga practices, to be aware and to remain aware of our integral wholeness? The hermaphrodite androgyne, the mystically united twin within ourselves? The magic force in the golden unitive thread of intuitive, true remembrance reveals to us ourself and leads and draws us onward with dharmic speed to the beyond which is within, of eternity's ever-present sunrise.